Thank you for joining us today for the grand reopening of the modernized and expanded Owen Roberts International Airport and welcoming their Royal Highnesses Florida. Sir, thank you for your graciousness in accepting the invitation to not only visit our beautiful Cayman Islands, but also for agreeing to officially reopen our airport here in Grand Cayman.
Your Royal Highness, it was certainly my pleasure to welcome you at the airport yesterday, but it is a distinct honor today to first welcome you to my constituency of Georgetown North, but most importantly this morning, as a member of the board and a member of the government, member of the board of Jasmine, and as a member of the government, to welcome you to this auspicious occasion this morning. I know that you have been here for less than 24 hours, but you would have noticed that there's something a little special about these three islands and its people. And we commonly refer to that as Caymankind. And there's no better example of Caymankind than this beautiful building behind us that we're about to open.
Your Royal Highness, Duchess of Cornwall, His Excellencies, lovely wife Lizzie, all the other distinguished guests, boys and girls. What a delightful day in Cayman. It's not every morning that we can wake up and have a holiday. Neither is there every morning that we can wake up and be graced with the very kind and amicable presence of Her Royal Highness. But today is that day. And this is the day that the Lord has made. And we're going to rejoice and be glad in it. We're going to be favored with some of the talented students this morning, Your Royal Highness, and you'll see that they're vibrantly dressed.
Thank His Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales, for his work highlighting the vital importance of both terrestrial and marine environments to humankind. It is truly an honor to have Your Royal Highness with us today to officially open the Rotary Schoolhouse in this children's garden. I must note, Your Royal Highness, that in front we have Mr. Basdio, who every year on his birthday donated his earnings to the development of this park. And I want you all to give him a round of applause today.
and thank you for joining us here live at Pedro St. James for this very special broadcast of the investiture ceremony with His Royal Highness Prince Charles of Wales, accompanied by Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Cornwall. I'm your host for this evening, Tammy Suleiman. This is a joint broadcast between Cayman 27 and Government Information Services, CIG-TV. So we want to welcome you here, as I said, for this special evening because there's a lot happening. I have to say that we were supposed to start at 6:15 with the Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall arriving, but they have been delayed. As you know, as we've been telling you all day, today and yesterday, they have a packed itinerary. The Prince, he had gone to Cayman Brac earlier this morning, as well as Little Cayman. The Duchess of Cornwall, she was out and about on Grand Cayman while he was over in the Sister Islands. And now they are making their way from the Botanic Park. So they are delayed. They are going to be about 20-25 minutes here shortly at Pedro St. James Castle. I do have a shot of the gate, so I will be looking out to see when the royals will arrive. But everybody here is waiting with bated breath. If I were to step to the side, you should be able to see a shot of all of the dignitaries and the government officials who are here right now. I can see the Speaker of the House, McKeever Bush, Deputy Premier Moses Kirkconnell. I also see the Minister of Finance, Roy McTaggart, and other ministers, other government officials, and the public. Everyone is just waiting with bated breath for the arrival of the royals. Now, this is the final stop for the royals as they embarked on a Caribbean tour that started 2 weeks ago. They went to Barbados, they went to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, they were in St. Lucia, they were in St. Kitts and Nevis. Where else were they? And they were also in Cuba before they came to the Cayman Islands. This is the only overseas territory stop for them on this Caribbean tour. It is their final stop, and they spent a little more than a day with us. They arrived yesterday afternoon at 4:45, and they will be leaving us this evening after the ceremony here at Pedro St. James. And a little bit about what we are to expect this evening. A beautiful evening, I should say. The sun was glorious today. It's now setting. It's a cool evening. There's breeze here, so nobody's sweating as they wait for the royals to make their entrance. So the day, or the event rather, will start like this. We'll have the Master of Ceremonies, who's Gloria McField Nixon, who's been a long-serving civil servant. We also have the arrival of the royal party, which we've been talking to you about. And there will be the national anthem sung, God Save the Queen. We will have remarks from His Excellency the Governor, Martin Roper. And then we'll have welcome remarks from the Premier, Alden McLaughlin. Following that speech, we will then have the presentation of honours and awards by His Royal Highness. And those who will be receiving those awards tonight, we have Franz Manderson, our Deputy Governor. He will be receiving his MBE today. So that is a member of the Most Excellent Order of the British Islands for his services to the Cayman Islands. Also receiving awards will be Felicia Elsina McLean. She's being awarded a certificate and badge of honor for her services to palliative care in the Cayman Islands. As well, receiving an award this evening is Andrew Nigel Smiley. He will be awarded a certificate and a badge of honor for services to sport in the Cayman Islands. And certainly, what a wonderful way to be recognized, to receive those accolades from none other than His Royal Highness Prince Charles of Wales. And so let's tell you a little bit about those people who are receiving their awards today. We have the Deputy Governor, who he's no stranger to us. He has been a long-standing civil servant. He's really given his life to this country, the Cayman Islands. Just trying to flick through all of my pages here so I can give you comprehensive information. And so the Deputy Governor, he is the head of the civil service, and he has given over 37 years to the country through his work. He's what you call a career civil servant. He was the head of the Cayman Islands Department of Immigration, and then he moved his way through the ranks to where he is today as a Deputy Governor of the Cayman Islands. Receiving a certificate of honor is Felicia Elsina McLean. She has spent her entire career caring for others as the Director of Operations and Nursing at Jasmine, formerly known as the Cayman Hospice Care. Ms. McLean manages daily operations and leads a dynamic clinical team. And she began her career in nursing more than 2 decades ago, and she has offered her life to ensuring that those in need at the end of their days are given the best care they possibly can get. And so she's being recognized for her work in that arena. Also being recognized this evening, Andrew Nigel Smiley, and he's given more than 20 years of hard work and dedication, and he has broken down barriers. He has paved the way for other swimmers with intellectual disabilities while raising awareness in the Cayman Islands and around the globe. And we are certainly very proud of him, of Ms. McLean, and of course of our Deputy Governor, the Honourable Franz Manderson, for what they are being recognised for this evening. As I said, everybody's waiting for the arrival of their Royal Highnesses. We could talk a bit about the itinerary that they had. They landed at the Owen Roberts International Airport yesterday afternoon, 3:45. It has been a long 2 days, and we've been providing you up-to-date coverage through social media as well as our live broadcasts. So we had the arrival of their Royal Highnesses on the tarmac at 3:45 yesterday afternoon. They were greeted with the cannon salute, as well as they met members of the public before they moved to the inside ceremony, where they opened the new wing of the airport, doing the official reopening of the entire Owen Roberts International Airport. Afterwards, there was a meet and greet at Government House, and we have all that video for you on our website. You just have to go to cayman27.ky, and you can also go to our Facebook page. Just follow us on Cayman27. And then today, it was packed. We'll start off with the Duchess of Cornwall. She stayed here on Grand Cayman, and she went to the opening of Jasmine's Villa, the hospice centre, and there she met with hospice staff as well as government officials. She then went on to Estella's Place, which is part of the crisis centre, and the Duchess has dedicated a lot of her work to women in need, to battered women and those in crisis. So it was in keeping with her mission as the Duchess of Cornwall. And then she went on to Georgetown Primary School, where she met school children, and we have video of that for you on Facebook. Really sweet. The children performed for her, and you could see that she was elated by the sounds that she was hearing from the school choir. As for the Prince of Wales, well, he's been jet-setting today. He went off to the Brac this morning to do the opening of the swimming pool at the Cayman Brac Sports Complex. There were members of the public there on hand. We had a reporter there. Again, just go to our Facebook page to check out that video, and it was also shared on Instagram and Twitter. The Prince then flew over to Little Cayman to the Central Caribbean Marine Institute, and there he visited with the CCMI staff as well as school children who were there. It was really very sweet to see a lot of what was happening. From there, the Prince joined us back on Grand Cayman, and he was at Clifton Hunter High School. In fact, he landed there at the helipad, and there he met with the school principal and school children, and as well government officials. From there, he went to the Queen Elizabeth's Botanic Gardens, and I actually saw a video of him petting an iguana, so I can't wait for you to see that video. We will share it on social media as soon as we possibly can. That happened just moments ago, and that is where their Royal Highnesses are right now as they make their way to Pedro St. James Castle for the investiture ceremony. And I'm being joined now by my co-host, Shanda Gaigo. Good evening. How are you?
Good evening. I'm well, thanks. Good to be here with you.
Good to be here with you as well. You know, it has been a busy one, and I think we have an update.
Yes.
We have an update.
And that is Melon.
Their Royal Highnesses are on their way. The convoy has departed, and accordingly, I invite you to please return to your section, and if you have a seat, please be seated. The formalities will be kicking off very shortly. So please, if you've been milling about and talking to your neighbors, let's hit pause, return to our section, and be prepared to give a warm Caymanian welcome to their Royal Highnesses. Thank you.
So there we were just hearing from Gloria McField Nixon.
Yes, who will be the Master of Ceremonies tonight.
She is the Master of Ceremonies tonight. And as I said, I'm here joined now by Shanda Gallego.
Shanda Gallego. You normally hear me, not see me, but this is pretty good change. Yes, you were mentioning a little earlier that it has been a very busy day indeed, not just for the Royal Highness.
But for you were over the BRAC.
I was in the BRAC. I was on the plane with the Prince. I followed him. He had an amazing time. At least I could say he had an amazing time in Cayman BRAC. That was for the official ribbon cutting ceremony for the swimming pool there. It was such an awesome experience just to see the Cayman BRAC residents just really take in that moment, a historic moment for them. So that was pretty awesome. And then the schedule was really tight, but he met every timeline, getting to Little Cayman afterwards and then back on Grand Cayman. I mean, wow.
It's incredible, really. It's been non-stop. We've all been running as journalists. I mean, that's our job. And these events, historic events such as these, are certainly exciting, and one that I'm certainly proud to be part of, and I'm sure you are as well.
Yes, same here. But I cannot help but look at the beautiful sight that we're seeing here this evening at Pedro Castle, and I'm listening to this music, and I believe it's by young musician Dequan Smith.
That's correct.
It's going to be a really beautiful evening, and I cannot wait for everything to start.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I was just talking about the weather. We could not actually have had more gorgeous weather.
Yes.
The sun is now setting, but we've had a brilliant day today. Barely a cloud in the sky, but it's not unbearably hot. I mean,
No,
we
it's
have a
not.
nice cool breeze here at Pedro St. James in
Yes.
Bordentown, the birthplace of Cayman's democracy.
That's right.
It's really a very special occasion. Everybody here, if I were to talk about the mood of where we are right now,
Yes, let's talk
Shanda,
about
we're
it.
looking at a gorgeous sunset.
Wow.
I mean, we are so lucky to be
Yes.
living here. And, you know, everybody's mood reflects what you're seeing on the screen right now. Everybody's serene, peaceful, but also a little anxious, I think,
Yes,
just waiting to
see
the
him
royals.
and the Duchess of Cornwall. I must say there are lots of smiles around the place. Everyone is dressed so well, and we have some uniformed services here. They're in place, ready for the arrival of the Prince and Duchess of Cornwall. So this is going to be quite exciting.
And as we heard from Mrs. Macfield Nixon, they are expected imminently. So once they arrive, you know, just to go through what we're expecting in terms of the investiture ceremony, we know that we will have the Master of Ceremonies, who we've been hearing from, Gloria Macfield Nixon. She will welcome everyone as the royals arrive, and then we will have the national anthem sung, and then
And then we'll have remarks by His Excellency the Governor, Mr. Martin Roper, and followed by welcome remarks by Premier Honourable Alden McLaughlin.
And then we will have the presentation of honours and awards by His Royal Highness. This is the investiture ceremony. As I was saying earlier, those receiving awards tonight will be the Honourable Franz Manderson, as he becomes a member of the Most Excellent Order of the British Empire. As we know, it's called MBE, for services to the Cayman Islands. Also receiving awards tonight, Felicia Alcina McLean. She'll be awarded a certificate and badge of honour for services to palliative care in the Cayman Islands.
And then we have Andrew Smelly, who will be awarded a certificate and badge of honour for services to sports here in the Cayman Islands. And, you know, he's just coming off of Special Olympics.
So proud of him.
It was remarkable to see him in action, and we're definitely proud, and I know he is proud to have represented the Cayman Islands, his country, and now to be awarded, to be recognized. I believe that it just hits home, the icing on the cake.
It is the icing on the cake, and his story is such an interesting one, and we can always overcome adversity.
That's
he did
right.
not have it easy, as we know. But he persevered, and look where he is today.
Right.
And he's receiving an award, an accolade from His Royal Highness himself for that perseverance, for all that he has accomplished. So we are certainly very, very, very proud of him.
Yes, definitely. As I'm looking in the crowd this evening, I do see a lot of very important people. And among them is definitely Miss World Cayman Islands, as well as Miss Cayman Islands. They are representing, and they're here, and I believe they'll be doing a little bit of something this evening. So I'm excited to see that.
You
as
seem to
well.
know something that the rest of us might
Maybe,
not, so
maybe
we
not.
will look forward to that. And you know what, Shanda? After that ceremony, the investiture ceremony, where those awards will be given by His Royal Highness himself, we will actually have a few remarks from the Prince of Wales. He is going to address the crowd as well as all of us, because you're able to see this live at home through this joint broadcast with Cayman 27 and
CIGTV.
And we definitely want to thank you guys for joining. Although you're not able to make it here, you're definitely seeing it live and direct.
You're not going to miss anything.
No, and just, Tammy, just to insert there, it is the first time that we're hearing from the Prince. And that will be for tonight that we're hearing him.
Right, since he's been here.
Since he's been here.
Because he hasn't addressed the crowd. I don't think he's given any interviews.
No, I mean, he has acknowledged us by wave and smiles and, you know, but we're definitely going to be hearing from him. So that's going to be good.
So I know everyone is excited for that. And then there will be a cultural presentation. He will be receiving a gift.
Yes. He received something a little earlier. It was a handcrafted piece of what is it? Kryptonite and Caymanite, sorry. Caymanite, and that was pretty awesome. Like, he was actually excited to receive that locally made piece there.
Was that over in?
That was in Cayman Brac.
That was in Cayman Brac.
That was in Cayman Brac, and I know the Duchess of Cornwall actually received a few gifts herself.
Yes, she did.
Herself from students at the school, Georgetown Primary School. So that was exciting for them to receive cultural pieces of the Cayman Islands.
And they can take a piece of Cayman home with them. You know what's interesting? We had done a story actually on Cayman 27. Joe Avery went and got it. The White brothers, and of course one of those brothers is David White, who is a councillor in the sitting administration. And they had these pictures of the Prince's last visit to the Cayman Islands in 1973. They were young boys then.
They were.
And they had these amazing pictures. And I was just talking with Mr. David White earlier, and you saying to me, Tam, you know what, it's a miracle that that photo album survived Hurricane Ivan in 2004 with those pictures, because they lost a lot of family pictures, a lot of mementos during that terrible hurricane. But that album survived. So they have those amazing pictures. We have it up on Facebook, and I believe it's on their own Facebook page as well. And he told me that it's on the bedstand, or it was on the bedstand in the governor's house, because that's where the Prince stayed last night, at the Government House. For him to hopefully flip through and look at the pictures of himself at his last visit in the Cayman Islands in 1973. So one wonders if he took a look
Yeah,
at that album.
I mean, that would be really interesting for him to kind of reminisce on those days. And of course, you know, he is back here in the Cayman Islands for the Duchess of Cornwall. It's the first time.
Right.
And I know, I could see from her face that she was really taking it in, all the sights and sounds of what we have to offer. And it is the final stop of their Caribbean tour. They had like, what, 11 days?
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind tour. It's been 2 weeks. I was looking at all the countries that they had visited, and I believe I think they started, I want to say they started in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and then they went over to Barbados. They did a bit of zigzagging. So it was.
I think they started in St. Lucia, and then Barbados.
I know they started a bit high, and I was a bit surprised. They were up and down a little bit. So
it was St. Lucia,
Barbados, and then
St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and St. Kitts and Nevis, then Grenada.
Then you see what I mean?
And
so they went back down to Grenada.
And then Tammy, let's put a pause on this one, the most controversial of them all, Cuba. It was rather something that I was looking forward to, and seeing how they were able to receive the Prince and the Duchess of Cornwall, and they went all out. They did. They certainly did. But that was particularly interesting because it's the most controversial. I think former President Barack Obama was, the only other high official, ranking official to actually make that visit. So that was pretty interesting to know that he made that visit for his Caribbean tour.
Look, times are changing, right?
Yes.
Certainly, I'm sure as the Prince was out and about today in the Cayman Islands, he must have remarked, oh my goodness, things have changed since 1973.
That's right.
And so too have relations with some of those countries that might have been cold in the past. So it's a new day, it's a new era.
New day, new dawn.
What I found interesting was that the Cayman Islands, not only is it the final stop of this Caribbean tour, it's the only overseas territory
That's right.
that they are visiting, because all of the other countries, save Cuba, are independent.
Right.
They were former colonies of the UK, but they all gained their independence.
That's right. Yeah. So that was kind of interesting how that lineup came about. But they did that, and they engaged in, I think, over 50 activities throughout the 11-day tour, and that was kind of interesting how they have that energy. They're not really young, Tammy, but they have the energy.
This is their life's work, right?
Yes.
This is their job. Let's put it that way. This is what they're expected to do, and they take it on wholeheartedly.
Absolutely.
And now,
I ask you all now, please, to make your way to your seats, if you have them, and to your assigned areas.
This is it.
We are expecting imminently the arrival of your Royal Highnesses. Everyone, please now remain in place.
And Tammy, just want to make a quick note. They are on schedule. They're really trying to stick to the schedule. Security is tight. And we've noticed that from the time that he touched down. And so everything has its place. And
Yes.
I'm just actually so proud of the protocol office and the rest of the team for really putting this together so professionally. They've done this.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
You know, if I can, I would like to give a special shout out to two ladies who worked very closely with us. We have
Sure.
Jamie Hicks at GIS.
That's right.
As well as Jackie Carpenter from the RCIPS.
Oh, yes.
Jackie is the press information officer over at the police, and Jamie is one of the GIS officers. So, you know, they really helped us get everything in order. And now I believe, Shanda, we have the arrival of their Royal Highnesses. You can see there on your screens, ladies and gentlemen, that they are making their way into Pedro St. James Castle. You can see people in the foreground. They are there waiting to see their Royal Highnesses, the Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall, as they make their way
Right
onto the
into-
grounds
yes, right
of
onto
Pedro
the
St.
grounds.
James Castle.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain in place.
Okay, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would now invite you to please stand for the entrance of the royal party and remain standing as the royal party makes their way to the stage, to be immediately followed by the playing of the national anthem. The national anthem will be performed by Daquan Smith on the cello, accompanied by Fran McConvey on piano. The royal party consists of their Royal Highnesses, the Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall, His Excellency the Governor, Mr. Martin Roper and Mrs. Roper, and the Honorable Premier, Alden McLaughlin and Mrs. McLaughlin. Please remain standing for the arrival of the royal party. And the royal party has arrived. Their Royal Highnesses, the Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall, His Excellency the Governor, Mr. Martin Roper and Mrs. Roper, and the Honorable Premier, Alden McLaughlin and Mrs. McLaughlin. Please remain standing for the playing of the national anthem. Please be seated. Your Royal Highnesses, the Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall, Your Excellency the Governor and Mrs. Roper, Honorable Premier and Mrs. McLaughlin, distinguished members of the Judiciary, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Ministers and members of Cabinet, other elected members of the Legislative Assembly, awardees, chief officers, heads of department and public bodies, other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good evening. It is my pleasure to welcome you to this evening's investiture ceremony and cultural reception, as we have the distinct honor of welcoming their Royal Highnesses and celebrating the excellent service of members of our Cayman Islands community. I now call on His Excellency the Governor, Mr. Martin Roper, to offer remarks.
Your Royal Highnesses, Honourable Premier, members of Cabinet and Legislative Assembly, Chief Justice, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good evening. It gives me great pleasure to welcome their Royal Highnesses to Pedro St. James, such an extraordinary setting to conclude the visit to our islands. I am grateful to their Royal Highnesses for coming. Their visit underlines the strong and enduring commitment of the royal family and the UK government to the Cayman Islands and the overseas territories. As we celebrate the 60th anniversary of the coat of arms and the Constitution, it is fitting that we receive the most senior royal visit to the islands since Her Majesty the Queen in 1994. And we've had a very busy 24 hours in which their Royal Highnesses have had the opportunity to see much of our beautiful islands. Their Royal Highnesses opened our impressive new airport extension on arrival. His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales undertook a historic visit to the sister islands and attended a community event on Cayman Brac. His Royal Highness was also able to see something of the excellent work of the Central Caribbean Marine Institute, who are doing work to protect our amazing coral reefs. At the Botanic Park, His Royal Highness opened the new Children's Centre, saw the excellent progress of the Blue Iguana Recovery Programme, making a new friend, Peter the Iguana, along the way, and discussed with industry experts how blue-green financing mechanisms can support sustainable development. And His Royal Highness landed at Clifton Hunter High School in our new state-of-the-art police helicopter and was greeted by many school children and families. And I'm sure that will have a very lasting impression on our young people. And indeed, I'm delighted that so many of our young people have been able to take part in the visit over the last 2 days. Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Cornwall, opened the new Jasmine Hospice, visited Georgetown Primary School, and met volunteers, staff, and young people at the Crisis Centre's Estella Place. Since His Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales, came here in 1973, while stationed on HMS Minerva, the Cayman Islands have witnessed truly remarkable progress. The Cayman Islands of today have a world-beating tourism sector, and we are the culinary capital of the Caribbean. Our respected financial services industry is making a global impact, and our excellent infrastructure continues to develop. The people of these islands are rightly proud of what has been achieved. It is a great privilege for me to be appointed by Her Majesty the Queen to serve as your governor. Of course, our islands may be known for their pristine beaches and all-year-round sunshine, but what really makes the Cayman Islands special is its wonderful people. And Lizzie and I have learned the true meaning of Caymankind in the last few months. And I'm very pleased their Royal Highnesses have seen something of that as well over the last 2 days. I will continue to serve all the people of these islands and work in a spirit of partnership, openness, and mutual trust to fight to your corner and enhance the security and prosperity of everyone. Lizzie and I greatly look forward to spending the next 4 years with you. I would like to thank their Royal Highnesses once again for their visit. I wish everyone a wonderful evening. God bless the Cayman Islands. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for those remarks. I now invite the Honorable Premier, Alden McLaughlin, to offer welcome remarks on behalf of the people and government of the Cayman Islands.
Thank you, Gloria. Good evening, Your Royal Highnesses, Your Excellency, members, ministers and members of the Cabinet, members of the Chief Justice and members of the Judiciary, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Your Royal Highness, it has been a long while, sir, since we welcomed you to our shores. We are certainly glad to have you back, and this time joined by the Duchess of Cornwall. I was a young lad when you arrived aboard the HMS Minerva in July 1973 in your official capacity as a Royal Lieutenant. But I do remember the enthusiasm and excitement of your visit to Grand Cayman. Many of the older people have told me they also remember your visit very fondly. Since your arrival, sir, on what has been a whirlwind trip, you have seen things. You have seen that things have changed a lot in Grand Cayman. The old Holiday Inn where you spent your last day when you were here previously no longer exists, but the Tortuga Club where you lunched in East End in 1973 is still there, albeit now an expanded modern resort. Despite the changes, the great Caymanian spirit and hospitality still exists and have allowed us to build an economy that encourages development and brings jobs to our people. We take pride in the country we have built and continue to build. While we have embraced modernity, we remain very proud of our rich heritage. We have chosen to host this reception here at Pedro St. James, which we often refer to as the birthplace of democracy in our islands. It was here that our first representatives and magistrates met in 1831 and drafted our very first laws. Sir, when you were here 45 years ago, the Cayman Islands was home to little more than 10,000 people. Today, we are now the largest British overseas territory with over 65,000 people representing over 130 nationalities living and working amongst us in harmony. Yesterday, you saw the improvements we have made to the Owen Roberts International Airport, and I am pleased beyond measure that you, sir, were able to officially open that important port. This will provide our air travelers with a much enhanced experience when entering and leaving Grand Cayman. I thank you, sir, for also officially opening our new 25-meter swimming pool in Cayman Brac. The new pool on the Brac will give youngsters on the sister islands the advantages of training to become future Olympians and ambassadors of the Cayman Islands through the sport of swimming. Ma'am, we were also very appreciative of your time today to participate in several events in Georgetown and where you met many of our people. We are honored that Prince Edward is the patron of the Central Caribbean Marine Institute on Little Cayman, and I hope, sir, you found the groundbreaking work on reef restoration fascinating. Here in the Cayman Islands, we work hard to protect our environment and have successfully saved our endemic blue iguana from extinction, which you witnessed firsthand at the Queen Elizabeth II Botanic Park this afternoon. Our efforts continue from controlling invasive species in our waters and on our lands to purchasing property for protected areas and setting aside money to purchase lands, including beaches and expanding marine parks. Your Royal Highnesses, Your visit coincides with our celebration of 60 years of our coat of arms, which Her Majesty the Queen graciously granted to the Cayman Islands in 1958. In a few months, we will celebrate the 60th anniversary of our first written constitution. That document allowed us to become a crown colony in our own right, choosing to stay with Britain rather than to take the road of independence. Both the coat of arms and our constitution tie us to the United Kingdom. We are British and we are proud of it. As is our long-held tradition, we wish to share with you a small token of our appreciation of your visit. We will present you, sir, with a glass sculpture titled Blue Meridian 79.9 degrees west, Point of Sand, which was created by Caymanian artist Davin Ebanks, who was inspired by the brilliant blues of Cayman's water. I also, sir, am very pleased to be able to present to you a memento of your previous visit, which I hope you will enjoy when you arrived as a young 24-year-old lieutenant. I hope, sir, you will treasure those memories. And before I close, sir, I have to say that His Excellency the Governor and I have marveled at your incredible energy. I never dreamed that it would be possible to change planes 3 times while in Cayman, and never leave Cayman airspace. So the governor has asked for another public holiday tomorrow. But I've had to say to him that the business community would have my head. Your Royal Highnesses, I do hope you have enjoyed your very short visit with the real jewels of the Cayman Islands, our people. And I wish you safe travels as you return to the United Kingdom later this evening. We respectfully request that you convey to Her Majesty the Queen assurances of our enduring affection.
Thank you, Honorable Premier. We will now have the presentation of honors and awards by His Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales. You are welcome to applaud after each recipient has received his or her award. To be a member of the Most Excellent Order of the British Empire, the Honorable Franz Ireland Manderson, for services to the Cayman Islands community. A dedicated civil servant of almost 40 years, Mr. Manderson has made huge strides to create a world-class civil service, and he is committed to giving back to his community. In 2014, he launched the Deputy Governor's 5K event, which has united the public and private sectors and raised hundreds of thousands of dollars in support of local charities. Mr. Manderson's sponsors are Miss Jenny Manderson and Mr. Donovan Ebanks. Certificate and Badge of Honor, Mrs. Felicia Elsenia McLean, for services to palliative care in the Cayman Islands. Mrs. McLean is the Director of Operations and Nursing at Jasmine, formerly Cayman Hospice Care, a recipient of the National Heroes Day Emerging Pioneer in Health Services. Mrs. McLean is passionate about improving the quality of life for everyone affected by both chronic and terminal illness. During her career, she has supported countless patients and their families. Certificate and Badge of Honor, Mr. Andrew Nigel Smiley, for services to sport in the Cayman Islands. Mr. Smiley has represented the Cayman Islands in 5 World Summer Games, earning medals in swimming and basketball. Following his completion of the Special Olympics Athletes Leadership Program, he joined the Board of Directors for Special Olympics, where he represents fellow athletes. Honorees, thank you for your service and stellar examples. Well done, each of you. I now invite His Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales, to offer his address.
Your Excellencies, Premier, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sadly anxious that the Premier offered you another day off, only to take it away again at the last minute. Very unfair, but I think both of us have caused enough disruption in one day, ladies and gentlemen. But if I may say so, it really is a great joy for my wife and I to join all of you this evening in this rather beautiful setting and to be here in the Cayman Islands. I can only say how greatly touched we have both been by the welcome we have received over these past 2 days and how much we have enjoyed meeting so many people here, as well as on Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. But believe it or not, well, you've been told by everybody, I think, that I first came to these beautiful islands in 1973, which just proves that I was young once. When, as the Premier said, I was serving in the Royal Navy in HMS Minerva. And of course, in those days, as the Premier reminded me yesterday, he was only 12 years old. And I've met a lot of others, by the way, who were about 12 years old at that time, today. And of course, as he also mentioned, the population of these islands was just over 10,000 people. So an extraordinary amount has changed over the intervening decades. And if I may say so, the progress you have made is quite remarkable. Today, these islands are blessed with excellent schools and hospitals and first-class business and tourism infrastructure. This is all underpinned by a strong legal system, civil service, and police force, that provide a secure society which is the envy of many in the region. None of this has happened by chance, of course, and I can only hope that you are all justifiably proud of what has been achieved on these islands through the foresight, hard work, and determination of so many people. Today, the Cayman Islands punches above its weight in the region and globally, both as an important center for financial services and as a major tourism destination. Your new airport, which my wife and I were invited to open officially yesterday, will strengthen your hand in both these regards and will, I trust, ensure Cayman's position for the future. With all of this rapid development, there is, it seems to me, an ever greater need to protect your natural environment. I was pleased, therefore, to see some of the excellent work that the Central Caribbean Marine Institute is doing in Little Cayman to help protect the precious coral reefs that surround these islands, as well as those elsewhere in the world. Accelerating and potentially catastrophic global warming, along with the acidification and pollution of our oceans, are nothing short of a planetary crisis that affects us all. And of course, the health of our oceans is absolutely vital for our shared survival. For years, I have tried to warn of this impending crisis and of our fundamental responsibility for our children's and grandchildren's inheritance. Now, ladies and gentlemen, those very children are crying out for concerted action rather than just empty words. In this context, it was heartening to hear the Minister of Environment announce the expansion of the Cayman Islands marine protected areas, which are of such crucial importance. This is, of course, a most encouraging step, but is one that could only really be effective as part of an integrated management plan that deals with waste treatment and plastics. I understand that work has been started on developing such a plan, and I much look forward to hearing how it progresses, since it seems to me that the Cayman Islands could become a shining example of best practice in integrated and genuinely sustainable management of its land-based and ocean resources. Such an integrated approach is not only essential to protect our ecosystems, but also, particularly in the Cayman Islands case, to protect the long-term viability of economic sectors such as tourism, on which they are utterly dependent. Such an innovative and far-sighted approach could become a beacon for the Commonwealth to help lead the world, and indeed the whole of nature, out of this appalling crisis of our own making. And while on this subject, ladies and gentlemen, I can't help wondering whether the Cayman Islands' extraordinary financial expertise might not be used in some innovative way as a catalyst to support the urgently needed financing of environmental investment throughout the Commonwealth. Above all, ladies and gentlemen, our visit to the Cayman Islands, the most populous of all the British overseas territories, has given us a much appreciated opportunity to celebrate the strong and enduring bond between these islands and the United Kingdom, and the importance of the overseas territories. I was so proud to hear of the support that was given by the Cayman Islands to your fellow overseas territories in the region after the devastating hurricanes in 2017, the effects of which I saw for myself when I visited the British Virgin Islands, as well as Antigua, Barbuda, and Dominica. That impressive response underscores the closeness of the vital connections we all enjoy as part of the British family. Your Excellencies, Premier, ladies and gentlemen, we are deeply grateful to have been given such a special welcome on all three islands and to have met so many people from such a diverse range of backgrounds who now call these islands home. As we leave you this evening, we will take with us the fondest memories of these beautiful islands and of the warmth of the Caymanian people. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Your Royal Highness. Those were very kind and encouraging words. We really appreciate your acknowledgement of how far these islands have come in still a very relative short time. I'm sure you would agree. And we also take on board the ways that we might continue to expand on our existing successes in environmental conservation so that future generations may also applaud the success that's been achieved in future years. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your presence and your keen attention. This concludes the investiture ceremony as we celebrate the visit of their Royal Highnesses, the Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall. Please now stand as the royal party depart from the stage. Guests seated on the lawn should remain standing, and those who are in our extended seating areas may be seated once the royal party has departed the stage, but they should stand again when the royal party makes their way around that section. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the departure of the royal party.
And there, Shanda,
There we have it.
Our listening and viewing public, we have just heard from His Royal Highness himself, Prince Charles of Wales, and I thought his speech was very interesting.
Very
to say the least.
interesting, and I would say brief, just quite a bit brief, but I want us to just zoom in on the fact that he emphasized a lot about the environment, that thing that he just loves and he cares a lot about, and he actually gave us a charge.
He did. He is a noted environmentalist. He has made it his life's mission to speak about the importance of protecting the environment, that we need to be aware that global warming is here. That too stayed with me. I thought his speech was quite profound. You know, he noted that the last time that he was here in 1973 as a Navy on the HMS Minerva, he was a lieutenant then, the country has grown 6 times since he was last here.
That's right.
Right? It was just over 10,000 in those days, and now we are more than 60,000 going strong. So he definitely did note the change that's happening right now.
You can tell that he was quite observant of the many elements that he was able to take in during his visit, the 2-day visit, and I would say he mentioned almost everything on his timeline while he was here, and kind of going back to the fact that he emphasized on the environmental aspect, just allowing us to kind of hear his opinion and his feedback and what he thinks would be best for the country moving forward in terms of allowing our financial stance to be the catalyst, he said, for change and for allowing some bit of improvement when it comes to this crisis that we're facing today.
As a country.
As a country
and
and as a region.
As a world.
As a world.
As planet Earth. You know what soundbite stayed with me in particular? The fact that he said the Cayman Islands is punching above its weight. He noted that we are a heavy hitter in the Caribbean region. And
we mean business.
We do mean business. And that, it's not an alarm, it's a sounding bell that we need to make sure is heard, because
We definitely are. We definitely are. You were just looking at footage of the crowd here. I would say we have, if you were to guess how many people are here today, I would say about 600, 700 people.
Some 700.
I would say there, about 700. And the Prince right now and the Duchess, they are making their way, meeting the public. You can see, it's night time now, but I believe you can see the gallery there of the public. And there's actually a sign. Somebody has a welcome Prince sign that they've made. And the Prince and the Duchess, their Royal Highnesses, are making their way, meeting the members of the public who have joined us here at Pedro St. James for the investiture ceremony.
Yes, it was really well formatted, well laid out, timely, definitely, to see our honorees tonight when they went on that podium, when they stood in front of His Royal Highness and received their honor and their recognition. I saw the smiles on their face, and it's such pride. When I looked out and I saw that the people, the community, had their backing, and there was such great support from the community when they, you know, had that applause, and knowing that, you know what, these are our people, and these are the accomplishments and achievements that are being done right here in the Cayman Islands with our own people.
Right, and just to go through who were recognized today, we had our Deputy Governor, the Honourable Franz Manderson, receive his MBE, the member of, he's now a member of the Most Excellent Order of the British Empire, as well as Felicia McLean. She also received an award for, or rather, Certificate and Badge of Honour for services to palliative care in the Cayman Islands. But you know which one brought a tear to my eye?
I know exactly which one. Andrew Smiley. I had to get that last name right. I think I messed up a little earlier, but Andrew Smiley, he was awarded a Certificate and Badge of Honour for services to sports here in the Cayman Islands. He has done extremely well for this country, and I know that he is definitely proud to have received that and to be there receiving that honor from His Royal Highness.
And you know, this evening is not over yet. While the Prince and the Duchess are making their way, meeting with the public here at Pedro St. James, he will also be given a presentation, a gift, if you will, a cultural one at that. It's a gift made by the artist Davin Ebanks, a Caymanian glass sculptor. And he drew his inspiration for the gift from the Cayman Islands coast, creating what appears to be a slice of water taken from the seafloor.
Wow.
So I would be very interested to see, and you can actually,
it's
we
right
did
on
see
the
a shot of
stage.
it.
Yes,
Yeah, it
and
was
I
on the
believe
stage.
it also has that significance of identity and the environment.
That's right. And you can see now that the Prince is still meeting with people. He's flanked there by the Premier. I believe that he's meeting with the veterans right now, and he will continue to make his way through the crowd.
I believe at this time he is speaking with the Bothwells.
Yes, he is. I couldn't tell. Still, we're dealing with nighttime now, so we're trying to see exactly. Yes, he is speaking with the Bothwells. So I see also a former financial secretary. Well, actually, he's the current financial secretary, Kenneth Jefferson. He is there. And of course, we can still see the Premier.
Yes.
He's there, and the Prince is certainly in deep conversation there.
Yes, you know, one thing I noticed throughout the day, he was very much interested in having conversations with the people.
Yes.
And then, you know, from overhearing today, you know, he was asking questions about, oh, where do you work? Or
He's
which school
genuinely
do you go to?
interested.
How
you could
is
tell.
School? And I was, wow, that was pretty cool, just to know that he was really interested in wanting to know information and wanting to be more acquainted with the people. So right now he's meeting with the officers of the Veterans Association.
That's right. Yes.
And I love that he's spending time with them and getting to know a little bit more about them and what they do.
Yes, he's there with Andrew McLaughlin.
That's right.
And the smiles on the faces. When you're having a conversation with a royal. That doesn't happen every day.
That is true.
And you can see people around, they're taking pictures, and they're just looking on intently, and just happy to be here to witness this historic occasion, I would say, those who have made it out here to Pedro St. James. But you know what, to those of you at home who are watching, you're getting to see the action, as we call it, live and direct.
Live and direct. We're not going to leave you. There's so much to see, and you know, I do believe that we have some great entertainment lined up for us this evening. Right now we're hearing the local steel pan band. It could be Panoridum, who has been entertaining us since Prince touched down. So that's pretty exciting to hear from them again. And I believe Swanky's
going to be closing
lined
out
up, and they're going to be closing out.
That's right. I want to remind those who are watching us tonight that this presentation is a joint effort, if you will, between Cayman 27 and CIG TV, and proudly brought to you by Saxon Smart Insurance. We want to thank Saxon very much for bringing this live coverage. They have been the sponsor, not only for tonight, but for the coverage that we brought to you yesterday by Cayman 27 at the airport. So again, thank you, Saxon, for making this possible. And you see, everybody's waiting patiently. Nobody seems rather fussed or mussed, you know what I mean? It's just smiles on the face. They know the Prince is going to make their way to them eventually.
Yes. And Tammy, it's so cool out here. We could just spend the rest of the night out here and just enjoy the music. It's so cool, and it's just relaxing.
There is a beautiful breeze. I have to confess, I was a little worried. I thought it might have been a bit muggy this afternoon. Was I wrong?
I was wrong too. Both of us.
And so the Prince continues to make his way through the crowd. He's there with the Premier, Alden McLaughlin. He continues to meet with members of the public. Smiles on the faces of those around.
Yes, it's quite exciting. It's really a historic event and moment for the people of the Cayman Islands. You know, I was not there the first time around, but to be here and to see this and witness it, it's remarkable.
And you know what? I have to say, I am rather in awe of how fresh both the Prince and the Duchess look, especially given the rigorous itinerary they've had over the last day and a half. The Premier said it himself that he was impressed that the Prince could be on a plane
and not only that, Tommy, going back to what I said, he had a lot of energy.
But that's it.
Both of them did.
And you couldn't tell by looking at them.
You couldn't.
You can tell they're seasoned when it comes to these kinds of visits.
Yes.
They know what they're doing, and they're
they
primed
know what
for
they're
it.
up against, and yeah, like you said, they prepare well, and they go on with their agenda, and they do it with such grace also.
Absolutely. And just to recap some of what both the Duchess and the Prince did today, and not just today, yesterday. Well, they landed at the Owen Roberts International Airport at 3:45 yesterday afternoon.
They also met with a few ministry officials.
They did, and they opened the new wing of the airport, so rather reopening of the Owen Roberts International Airport before they were whisked away to Government House for meet and greet then. And I think they got to retire because they knew that today was going to be non-stop, right?
Yes, and it pretty much started at around 10, 11. They went on the plane, the Saab 340, and we went to Cayman Brac, and from there they were greeted with cheer and applause from the residents of the Prince. Yes, because the Duchess of Cornwall, she stayed here.
That's right.
Duchess of Cornwall, she remained on Grand Cayman, and she had her duties too. I think she had a full agenda.
Oh yeah, she did. She went.
I think she had more than the Prince.
Well, he was on a plane. She got to stay here and go around by car, but she was at Estella's place. She went to Georgetown Primary School, and her first stop was Jasmine Center. Which was formerly known as Cayman Hospice Care.
That's right.
So she did the opening of that. But the Prince, he went to the Brac. You were on that plane.
He went to the Brac. He got that ribbon cut to officially open the swimming pool. It was amazing. He also got to see some of the youngsters actually make that dive and show them what they're made of, and that was awesome as well.
And right now you can see the Prince is talking with the Master of Ceremonies, Gloria McField-Nixon, who is a career civil servant. She has made us proud. She is a chief officer in the government working for the people day in, day out?
I think it's a really proud moment for the civil service, for those that are really a part of the civil service and organizing. And I think they just feel that, like, ooh, that sigh of relief. Like, you know, we worked very hard for this moment to enjoy, knowing that, you know, they've worked hard, worked very hard.
And you can see her son there holding on to Mummy's sleeves, and he's going to look back on this day, one day, when he's an adult, and say, wow, I met the heir to the throne back in 2019.
Back in 2019. Wow,
the Prince of Wales.
Will we be here at this moment again?
that is what that young man with his mummy is probably going to say many years from now when he's looking back.
I don't think he's saying it now or thinking it now, but he'll remember this.
He'll know how profound this moment is. So the Prince, we were saying, he was in Cayman Brac today,
and from there he went over to Little Cayman, and there he met with CCMI officials, and I believe that was probably something that he just really was looking forward to the most, in terms of getting update on the conservation efforts, and I believe he just then, after Little Cayman, he came right back to Grand Cayman, and he did some more activities there.
He landed at Clifton Hunter High School at the helipad there, and from there he was at Clifton Hunter for a little bit. From there he went over to the Botanic Park, right, and he was there for a bit, and he met the blue iguanas there. In fact, I think there was one by name.
The blue iggies. I think His Excellency Governor mentioned the name. Like, it's slipping my mind right now.
Mine as well. But we actually have video of it. One of our reporters, Seaford Russell Jr., was there. Awesome. We've actually had reporters at every single stop that both the Duchess and the Prince made today. So the video that we have is, if I might say so myself, quite amazing. I've been in awe of the team at Cayman 27 and the coverage that we've done. Everything is on Facebook right now. We will continue to bring you that coverage live and direct. We're here live with you right now. And so he was with one of the iguanas and the video was sent to me, and I was like, wow, that's pretty incredible. And from there, they joined us here at Pedro St. James.
That's right. And that's the funny thing about it is he always seems so excited to get out of the car and just go.
Well, he knows what he has to do. He knows what his duty is, and he wears it well, if I might say so. He knows what he needs to do, and he's meeting more
members
people
of the
right
cabinet
now.
office.
That's right. Nadira Lord there. Oh, it's lovely. It's lovely to see the looks, the smiles, the laughs. What a day it has been. And we almost got another public holiday. It was so close.
It was so close.
I was right there. I was like, what? Another one?
I was excited for a minute, and then, oh, wow. The expression of my face could change so quickly.
I think the Premier is right. The business community, you know, there's work to be done. There's work to be done. We had a day off today. We have celebrated this auspicious occasion. And, you know, it's back to work. Well, we've been working all day.
Yes, we have non-stop. The team over at Little Cayman, we have also been hitting it live at these various locations today, and you know, it's been remarkable just to be a part of that and tag along with them. That's exciting. This is definitely a moment to take in.
This is what we were built to do, right? This is where we shine as journalists. And we don't get these kinds of occasions that often here in the Cayman Islands. So when it's time to go, it's time to go. And it is an honor, really, to bring this kind of coverage to you, the public of the Cayman Islands. It really is. This is why we do what we do. And again, I just want to say that this is a joint effort between Cayman 27, this particular broadcast today, a joint effort between Cayman 27 and CIG TV. And today's broadcast and yesterday's broadcast of this royal visit was brought to you by Saxon Smart Insurance. Again, a big thank you to Saxon.
Once again, we are on the great lawn of Pedro St. James for a special celebration in honor of their Royal Highnesses, the Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall. Right now, what you're seeing happening is His Royal Highness meeting and greeting with ministry officials and members of the public. and really getting up close and personal with the residents here in the Cayman Islands.
And I don't think it's lost on many people how important this location is. We are at the birthplace of democracy in the Cayman Islands. It's Pedro St. James. It, you know, was built in the late 18th century when then the population of the Cayman Islands was just around 800 people.
Wow.
Can you imagine?
I mean,
just under, oh, sorry, not even, sorry, less than that, 500 people. 500 people. And, you know, some people thought it was little more than an undeveloped fishing village back in those days. And I'm just reading here from the program that was given out here at Pedro St. James for this occasion. They said, with the use of slave labor, it was an Englishman named William Eden, there's a last name we know well here in the Cayman Islands, who built the expansive Great House and farmed the adjoining land as a plantation. And he named it Pedro St. James, and that's where we are today. The castle itself is 3 stories tall, and the Great House at Pedro Point, it says, dwarfed the surrounding single-level wattle and daub dwellings that were its neighbours in 1780. And since its construction more than 2 centuries ago, Pedro St. James has been put to a variety of uses, including a courthouse, a jail, a government assembly, a hotel, a bar and restaurant. Surviving hurricanes, fires, vandalism and rumours of being jinxed, it stands today in its restored state as a dynamic piece of Caymanian heritage. And as I said, you know, we know it as the birthplace of democracy in the Cayman Islands. It was the venue for a meeting on the 5th of December 1831 where the decision was made to form the first elected parliament. And it was later on the 3rd of May 1835, Robert Thompson, sent from the governor of Jamaica, held court at Pedro St. James to issue the proclamation ending slavery in the British Empire.
wow. What a tidbit of history.
We need to remind ourselves sometimes where we are.
That's right.
And it's such a fitting place for this ceremony here today as the Prince continues to make his way, meeting members of the public who have come out here to Pedro St. James to witness the investiture ceremony.
And once again, it's a beautiful sight to see the residents just waving, and you can hear the cheers.
And you can see the sign I talked about earlier,
the sign,
Welcome Prince sign. And people have their flags in their hand, waving the Cayman Islands flag, proudly, smiling, waving. The Prince has made his way over to the gallery there.
Some 700 people have gathered here, and they're all a part of this awesome opportunity to see and to witness His Royal Highness and the Duchess of Cornwall.
Look at those smiles. Oh, there's a bouquet of flowers in his hand now. He's looking at them. They look like us smelling them. And a laugh. Oh, I would love to hear what that conversation is right now.
Yes.
And that looked like a very genuine laugh.
And right now we're hearing the sound of the Swanky Kitchen Band entertaining us and giving us that light background of culture, I would say, as the Prince goes around. He's meeting and greeting once again with the residents.
He's certainly getting a warm Cayman kind welcome here at Pedro St. James. I love that sign. Welcome, Prince.
Welcome, Prince.
And the smiles on the children's faces here today.
And then he's not skipping anyone. He's just really making sure he is getting to each and every person.
And can you hear the crowd?
Yeah.
We're hearing, it's a celebrity. We have a celebrity here on our soil. People there with their phones taking pictures for this, what for many is a once-in-a-lifetime moment, is it not?
I will interject here a little. When I was at the Brack pool, I was trying to get some sound of the Prince speaking with one of the swimmers, Kira Bodden, and I didn't know it was unbeknownst to me, but one of the photographers actually took that picture with me just right in the middle, right close to the Prince.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, that right there? That right there.
That's, as we say it in the industry, that's a money shot.
That's the money shot. That was a moment that I'm like, wow, I was working hard for the people of the Cayman Islands, and I was witnessing that moment.
Yes.
And he was asking the swimmer, Kira Bodden, young swimmer there, you know, is it, would you guys need a heater of some sort in the pool? And she said, no, we have the sun, that Cayman Brack sun. And that was so nice to hear that and to catch that and know that he is taking that in. He's taking it in.
That's awesome.
Yeah, from our youngsters.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
So he's moving. He's not even. He's just really just want to meet everyone tonight.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. And you can see I keep talking about it. People's faces, the smiles, the handshaking. You saw just now the extended hand, somebody like 3 rows behind, but they want to shake his hand.
I haven't seen yet a selfie being taken. I'm not
saw
sure.
The phones out.
Okay.
I'm not sure about a selfie, but the phones were out for sure, taking pictures.
Okay. That welcome print sign is truly, truly nice to see.
And people moving to the sounds of Swanky Kitchen Band. It's been a long day. Swanky Kitchen Band. Animated conversation there we are witnessing on our screens right now as members of the public get to meet firsthand the Prince of Wales, His Royal Highness.
And you see a lot of people dancing and making movement. That is truly the energy that we're seeing here, and what you're seeing on the screen right now. This energy is remarkable. Everyone is really just chilled, and they're socializing. I'm seeing Deputy Premier. You know, he's all smiles. Actually, from this morning up until right now, I'm seeing him. He has been all smiles, just really happy. And I think it's a moment of being proud.
Of course.
You know, it's a proud moment for him and the ministry and the country.
Absolutely. I was wondering where the Duchess was. She's there looking at some of the art with the governor. You can see her on your screen right now. So the governor, Martin Roper, is there with the Duchess of Cornwall. They're looking at some of the items on exhibit right now. And we were just talking about Deputy Governor Franz Manderson, and I saw him about 10 days ago. He came over to Hurley's Media to do an interview, and I asked him, this wasn't on camera, it was just a conversation between him and I. I said, oh my gosh, you're going to get your MBE very soon, the Prince is coming, you know, how do you feel? He's like, Tammy, I can't think about it. I can't. I'm trying not to think about it, because he goes, it's so profound, it's almost overwhelming.
Yes.
That if he thought too much about it, he would start to get a bit worked up, you know.
Yes, absolutely.
So he was trying not to think about it too much, but we are certainly very proud of him, as well as others who have received their accolades.
That's right.
Today. We had Andrew Smiley as well as Felicia McLean receive their certificate and badge of honor for the services that they have rendered to these Cayman Islands. You want me to go grab us?
Andrew's right there. You want to start interviewing her if you want to bring her? And welcome back. Well, you've been here with us. You've been seeing the Prince making his way through the public, meeting and greeting those who are at Pedro St. James. And I am joined now by two people who have been recognized for the work, for their contributions to these Cayman Islands. They have received an award, they've received a certificate and a badge of honor that they're both proudly wearing. Here we have Andrew Smiley for his contributions to swimming, as well as Felicia McLean for her work in palliative care. And good evening to both of you and congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to ask you, so we're going to share a mic, so if you could hold the mic close to the mouth while we're speaking. So Andrew, let me ask you first, how does it feel to have received this recognition from His Royal Highness himself?
It felt really good, and going up there to know that he's right there in front of me, and then I'm glad I met the Prince, and I appreciated that, what he said to me, a lot of stuff.
What did he say to you, if I might ask?
He said how I'm still doing with how I doing good Special Olympics, and if I'm still doing it, and I told him yes, doing it, I'm still gonna do it. And then he said if I'm gonna still help out with the children and the kids that does the Special Olympics, and he said yes, I'll do that too.
Oh, that is very sweet. Thank you, Andrew. And Miss McLean, you received your recognition from His Royal Highness. What was that like for you?
Oh, it was amazing. I mean, it was just surreal to be able to, first of all, be represented and have those people in the community that put my name forward for something that I just love to do. It was a huge, huge honor. And then to have him be the one to give me my medal, it was just absolutely amazing. It was really, really a lovely time in front of my own hometown, Cayman. It was, I don't even have words to describe it, truth be told.
And for everybody to see. I mean, we carried it live here, so it wasn't just those who have come to Pedro St. James to see both of you get your recognition, to receive your badges of honor, everybody at home here in the Cayman Islands and around the world who's watching got to see you receive this recognition from His Royal Highness himself. If I can ask, what was the conversation he had with you?
He first apologized for disrupting our lives for 2 days. And I said it wasn't a bother. I was very happy that he sent the Duchess to open Jasmine, which happened today, which was an amazing thing. And he's like, we do such good work. And he asked us to keep it up. And he's just, you know, keep doing the great job that you do.
And we certainly have that same sentiment as well. We want to say how much we are proud of both of you for everything that you've done in the various arenas for which you both work, palliative care and your sporting life. Andrew, we are very proud of you both. Thank you for giving me this interview, for giving us here, all those who are watching, a little snippet of what you experienced here in our country.
Thank you.
The Cayman Islands. Thank you to both of you. And we're going to see now where the Prince is, what he's up to. He's actually making his tour right now of the Great House. You heard me talk about a bit of the history earlier on. That's what's happening at this moment. The Prince is making his tour of the second floor of the Great House here at Pedro St. James. And I'm joined again by Shanda.
Once again.
My wingman. We've been doing, you know, the coverage here.
Guys, I'm just taking this in.
Absolute pleasure to be here with you. And thank you for helping me just now. It was actually Shanda's idea. She's like, oh, I see a couple of the honorees. That's what we do.
We have to get them.
We got to get, you know, the interviews. And so thank you for helping me with that. And we were able to bring that snippet of their experience on the stage.
So how was it talking with them? Were they nervous?
No, not really.
What was it all about?
They were definitely excited. Right, so we're hearing from the Master of Ceremonies.
James Castle. So I would ask you to look up. There may be an opportunity for a final farewell.
So they're in the castle right now. You can see the shot of them. His Royal Highness and Her Royal Highness.
Departure of the royal party, food service will commence. So please,
and we know,
keep your eyes peeled.
And we know that
for a final
they will be receiving the gift or the presentation of the gift, or it might have happened. It's not on the table anymore, but we're about.
So we are going to wave their. Okay, so there's okay, so they've just waved, and yeah. That's amazing. Tammy, I don't know about you, but I'm excited for this one. We have here coming to the camera, and he's going to go right in the middle. We want him right in the middle because we got to share this moment together. This is our Deputy Governor,
Frans Manderson, who has just received his member of the British Empire, the most excellent order.
You look good.
Of the British Empire.
Thank
Congratulations.
You feel good.
I feel good. I'm surrounded by all my friends and family, people who have supported me over the years, and you know, I wanted them to be here for this great occasion.
Deputy Governor, I hope you forgive me for this, but I did share on the air that about 10 days ago I asked you, you know, what was running through your mind and how you were feeling, and I told them you didn't want to think about it too much.
Yeah, you didn't want to think about it, so
you didn't want to get nervous.
Yes,
so how do you feel now?
And it has finally sunk in. It really. You know, I had an opportunity to go to the palace, and I said no, I would rather do it in Cayman at the Legislative Assembly on the Queen's birthday, because I wanted, you know, my people to be here. And now to find out that His Royal Highness actually came to Cayman, and I got the great pleasure of him giving me the award in front of my people. It doesn't get better than that.
Okay, so Mr. Manderson, when you stepped onto that stage and you approached His Royal Highness, there were some words being exchanged. I have to know. We have to know what was going on there.
So he said, so what is it that you do? And I said, I am the Deputy Governor. And he said, does that mean you do all the work?
And how did you answer that?
I said, yes, I do a lot of work. So he was amazing. Yes. And he asked me if I was able to recruit a number of people, and I said, yes, we have some fantastic civil servants working with us, people who dedicate themselves to making people's lives better, and I'm very blessed to be surrounded by so many great people.
And I'm sure you're not just sharing this honor. It's not just for you. It's for the people that you work with. You surround yourself day in and day out, and for the people of the Cayman Islands. I'm not sure if you were able to see, but there were so many smiles just looking at you and looking upon this great honor and moment.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. And you know, there are people here that I've been working with from time I was 17 years old. people that I...
Almost 4 decades you've given yourself to these islands.
Yeah, so, you know, I invited some of my former colleagues from immigration to come here with me because they have been a big part of my life for so many years. And of course then all of the people that I work with today, all of my staff in my office, the chief officers, everyone who really works with me to create our world-class civil service. And of course, having my mom here was so special. She has an MBE, and for her to accompany on the stage with my former boss, the former deputy governor, was really, really special.
Oh, you know what, it was certainly an honor for us to watch it as well, and for you to say, you know what, no, I would like to receive my recognition here in the Cayman Islands, because it's not just for your family and friends who were able to come to Pedro St. James to witness it. We were able to take it live here on the television airwaves, Cayman 27 and CIGTV, to bring this, because we don't get to see this, right? Because they normally go away for this. They go to England, they go and get it from there. But this, so we thank you for that.
Thank you, and I must give a big shout out to my wife and my children are all here. And you know, all the love and support they've given me over the years. It's been amazing to be surrounded by so many great people.
Okay, so one last question, at least for me. What are you going to do? How are you really going to celebrate?
Well, I'm actually going to go away tomorrow morning with my mom to celebrate her birthday. And I'm right back on Sunday. But I'm going to cherish that time with my mom. You know, making your mom proud is something that we should all aspire to do. So to know that I've done that in a way that is special to her this evening really makes me feel proud.
Well, Mr. Madison, we are certainly proud of you. This is a moment that we are definitely taking in with you.
And we thank you for being here with us. And we're hearing now that the royal couple are about to leave. I'm seeing the lights flashing, the police lights. But we are certainly grateful to have you. And I was reminded of the fourth commandment as you were just talking. Honor thy father and thy mother. Absolutely. And you certainly have honored your parents here today.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Congrats again, Mr. Madison.
Thank you. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
And that was a great interview. So we were able to get the 3 people who received their recognition from the Prince today. I'm not sure if we're able to get a shot of the Prince and the Duchess being whisked away. I think they might have already made their way out of Pedro St. James.
Yeah, but just going back to Mr. Manderson's remarks and comments to us, he kept mentioning his mom, and that's something, you know, I just feel like it was that full circle type thing, and he was a little choked up. He was trying to hold back a little bit, but that was remarkable to see that he was paying respect to the one that, you know, has provided for him all these years, as well as his first boss.
Yes. And yet to be flanked by both of them. They sponsored him, which means that they have received their own recognition, right? So you had Mr. Donovan Ebanks, who was a former head of the civil service, as well as his mother, as he said, right there next to him. Incredible.
It was good. Tammy, I don't know about you, but I'm in awe of what has been taking place. And again, we have to pay respect and just thank the protocol office and all the other teams that have really helped to put this all together for the 2-day visit for the royals who have made their final stop of their Caribbean tour right here in the Cayman Islands.
Thank you. And thank you to you, Shanda, for being here with us for this coverage. It was an honor and a privilege for me to be
this public-private partnership.
That's right. And being able to bring this to the public of the Cayman Islands. And so with that, I want to thank you, the public, for joining us here on Cayman 27, as well as CIGTV. It was a joint presentation today. I want to once again thank our sponsor tonight, Saxon Smart Insurance, who brought tonight's coverage as well as last night's coverage to the television screens to you. So again, I want to thank you for joining us here on Cayman 27 as well as CIGTV.